Good evening and welcome to the stage of Wolverhampton's Grand Theatre. Turn of the Screw is here until the 14th. Now, we have the cast in front of us for what is, I'm going to read my notes on this one, a Dermot McLaughlin production with the Mercury Theatre Colchester and, of course, a Wolverhampton Grand Theatre production, so all part of the team. So this is kind of a home venue for you all. And to introduce you, I'm going to go by the titles in the programme as well, because there's more to this story than you can possibly hope to imagine already. So we have Mrs. Gross. Matthew McCarthy, hello.
That's me, hello.
Yeah, then next up we'll go to the Governess, Carly Norris. Hi to you.
Hello.
Next down the line, Mrs. Conray, Annabelle Smith.
Hello.
And on the end, the man. Now that is the coolest introduction ever to the programme. Michael Hanratty, hello to you all.
Hello.
Thank you, hello.
So this is set in a long, long distant time. And this is an old story, isn't it? We're going back to Victorian times. Hence we had Victoria Sponge at the press night last night. That was very good. Thank you for that one. Did you get any of that? Did you see any?
No, I had the samosas.
There's going to be trouble. But you were fed, which is what counts.
We were. It was
Well
great. It was
fed.
lovely, actually.
Well
Really
fed.
lovely.
Really
Yeah.
lovely.
But this is an absolute classic ghost story, isn't it? And anybody who thinks they may have seen it because they've seen one of the other versions of this, come and see this, because this is close on the original novella.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, Tim Luscombe has adapted this. Much of the original novella is there, but there is a twist. The play starts in 1870 as opposed to 1840, which is when the events happened. And the governess, who is now 50 years old, is being interviewed for a job. And through this interview, we take a step back in time as she recalls what happened, the events of 1840. So we as characters have to jump 30 years in a couple of seconds.
Moments, and it is about that narrative that makes this work. And if you have got any questions, this is a Facebook Live, do join in. So let's see what we're going to get as we go along. But I mean, from my point of view, having seen what was happening here, it is just amazing. And when we spoke on the phone before the show, I think both Carly and you made the point. The music in this is such a massive part of it, and it's on those moments of sound that you suddenly change character to the previous version of yourselves.
That's right, yeah, it's John Chambers.
Yeah, John Chambers wrote a whole original kind of score for the piece. He's just brilliant. He's just made this beautiful kind of amazing music that's going through the piece that we all just respond to, really.
I think it's interactive as well, in that there are moments in the play that have this vibrating almost, it's got a lot of bass on it, underscore, just one note, that really, you can feel it as in the audience, it vibrating through you, so you know that something ominous is coming. And I think that mixed with the lighting, the incredible lighting, we've got cross lighting, so with a lot of plays, the lighting comes down from above and from the front. This particular one, a lot of it is eye height from each side, so we have to be aware that we're in each other's, like now for instance, I'm playing this side.
You can see, as demonstrated.
But it creates that, along with the music, just creates a completely different feeling, a different decade, a different era. But also the spooky elements of actually being in a house with gas lights, candles, and the incredible music, the violins that are playing, and they're really lovely. There's a moment where we take a trip back to a lakeside scene with a little girl, and we're splashing in the waves, and there's this beautiful Victorian melody playing that really lifts, that changes the dynamic. But yeah.
So it's a whole
Also
soundscape which didn't always happen in theatre shows before, but you get a whole soundscape right. The effects.
Yeah.
And we've mentioned John, but it's almost like having John and Matt Leventhal, who did the lighting design. They're kind of with us all the time, really, because they are very much an integral part of the show. Yeah.
And it is like there may be four of you on stage, and most of you are on stage pretty much the whole time for the full show. So these guys work really, really hard. Come and see it for that alone. But it is the extra cast members of the lighting and the way the set works and that beautiful soundscape. But I mean, I love the fact that you've got your gas light and it's just over there. Michael, can you go and get that?
Yeah, I can grab that.
Yeah.
That's okay, is it?
Yeah, we'll get away with that.
It'll be a spirit lamp, in fact.
Yeah, because
it would be paraffin or some such.
It's a beautiful prop to use.
But this glows during the show, and you guys must be in control of it, so you're doing your own lighting engineers at the same time.
Well, it's remote control.
Yeah.
It's magic. Sorry, it's actual magic.
It's actual magic.
But it's all queued up from our lighting
Everything
box.
is, yeah.
So that it comes on in the middle of a scene, it goes off, it dims down, it dims up. So yeah.
And that's really important actually to mention as well, stage management, because the way all these things happen together and at the right moments is down to our fantastic stage management team, who are, as you said, cueing the show. So if they don't give the cues at the correct time, then the thing doesn't happen as seamlessly as you find. Well, we've not had a performance yet where it hasn't happened seamlessly, in fact.
Well, I say, touch wood, the stage is actually good, so we're okay with all of that. But it is, from the moment that you come into the theatre, because the curtain is part way up, or you can see the stage straight away, and you can see the setting of the house, and this doubles as both the house, I assume, in London, where you're being interviewed, and then in the country, where the kids are in their kind of relaxing away from the troubles of the world, in theory. And it from that moment and the play starting, and I can't give much away, but I can say that there is some magical movement on stage to begin things, and it is quite frightening when stuff starts moving around, even at the beginning for the audience, and you will basically have them all with their hearts in their mouths the whole time.
Oh, well, that's great. That's what we want.
It is good to hear the audience reaction at those moments, because then we know it's worked, and we very rarely get an audience where there's complete silence the whole way through. So yeah, there are moments that are designed to make you jump, and then there are other moments that you can actually hear the audience going, oh.
Yeah.
And they're working it out as they go, and then you can hear them arguing with each other afterwards.
It's
brilliant.
Yeah,
because it's a sort of detective ghost story in a way. Like they're working it out as it goes along. Did you find it spooky?
It certainly was spooky. It was interesting to see, and it was, you weren't sure what was going to happen next, which is part of the excitement of it. Yeah. And by the interval, you've just got more questions and you've got answers. And I think that works really well. That you've got all that going on in there. And just a quick shout out for people watching. We've got Sally Highfield, who says hello. Hello, Sally.
Hello, Sally.
Andrea Ford, can't wait to see you on Saturday.
Oh, great.
Now, Sue Petty Jones, we've had a discussion here because the gang from the theatre are joining in answering questions, and the show's on till Saturday, as we said. But it's not a massively long show, is it?
No, it's not. That's one of the beautiful things. It starts, and before you know, my nephew came with my sister, and they were all like this. And at the interval, when the interview started, he went, "It's only been on 10 minutes." And I said, "No, darling, it has been on." It moves at such a pace, but it is physically a lot shorter than a lot of plays are quite long. This comes in at 2 hours with the interval.
But there's so much story along the way.
Yeah, it's a bit of a roller coaster.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's so pacey. The scenes are short. They do make you think. So every scene reveals something, but then it snaps directly into another scene. Some of which are fast, some of which are quite slow, and they're pausing, and they're designed to allow everyone to breathe again. But because they're so short, the scenes, and they gallop apace, it's not like watching a very long. Some people don't like going to see very long Shakespearean plays, for instance, or a play where the language is dated. So you have to retune your ear to it. And if it's very, very long scenes with very complicated plots, you can get bored very quickly. But not in this one.
No, not with the pace.
No.
And you certainly will be on the edge of your seat. You dare not focus in case you miss something that's going to scare the hell out of you. So keep going with all of that. So let's work our way around and get a bit of an insight on each of your characters. First of all, tell me something that you can tell me about your character without giving the game away, but something to look out for.
I can tell you quite a lot about my character. I was the original owners of Bly were the children's grandparents.
Yep.
And I was the grandmother's personal maid. So I came to the house probably when I was about 13 or 14, and I've been there ever since. And so I've then served under their parents, and now somehow I've been landed with these two children because their uncle has their parents being dead, I think I can tell you that, has sent them
Not
down...
a spoiler, not a spoiler.
Has sent them down to Bly because he believes that's the best place for them. So, and also, I have an easy job because I don't have to jump times either. I am very solidly in 1840.
Nice, safe place to be.
Yes.
Okay, now, the Governess has a lot more to do there, but you get to be both 20 and 50.
I do, yes. So the play opens, I'm 50. I jump back in time to 20. So I have been given the job, the duty of being in charge of all the below stairs people as well as the children in this man's English country house. So I go along. I'm very inexperienced. I'm the youngest daughter of a parson. I'm not worldly. I like reading romantic novels. I do confess that I turn up at the house hoping to be carried away by this beautiful landscape. And not long after I fall in love with the children. The children are complete angels, love at first sight, and I wholeheartedly devote everything to them. And not long after I arrive, I sense things are wrong in the house. And then I see some ghosts, which is confirmed by my loyal and trusty friend, Mrs. Gross.
Yeah. Well, I mean, then it moves on, because we're on to our multiple character roles on the end, because we have Mrs. Conroy, and actually start off by doing a bit of an interview of the Governess.
Yes.
But you do get to be one of the younger members of the cast as well, and that must be great fun, running around
so
playing
fun.
a kid.
Yeah, so I'm Mrs. Conroy, I'm 38. I've called the Governess back to kind of try and decipher what's happened to Miles. And then I get to jump into being an 8-year-old Flora, who's Miles's sister, one of the children in the house. I don't know if I can give.
I think that's just
That
probably
was
as
pretty
far
good.
as we ought to go, I think, on that one. Now, the man on the end.
The man.
This is because you do have several roles
I
here.
play several men, yeah.
Yes.
Well, and a boy,
Yeah. And the boy, that you seem to fall into that part completely. You must love that.
Yeah, no, it's really good fun. It's quite easy to, well, not easy, but addictive, being in that sort of like mind state of being just, carefree and, well, I don't know if he's carefree, but yeah, no, it's really nice
Being a
to
child,
inhabit.
Yeah. But you get to be uncle as well. And
Yeah.
Again, the way you hold yourself has to be very different for all that. And you will see those definite roles, and it's testament to the quality of the acting we have here. They're probably going to blush at this one, but they're all blooming good. And they say the switching over is great, and in a play, it is always difficult to get those characters right and believable. And I think we're there with you the whole time. And as uncle, you just basically want to leave the kids to it, don't you? You don't care.
Pretty much, yeah. Just roguish man who just wants to get on and have his
He
parties.
didn't ask for it. He didn't ask for 2 small children in his life, to be fair, and he's a very free-spirited, he's got lots to do in London,
He's a cad.
He's a man about town. He doesn't
This is
need
the
to look
Governess
after.
speaking.
Yeah. But
Just like,
he's not arguing, and he knows it, so there we go. Okay, so we've been asked about favourite costumes and props in the show from Hannah, and obviously we've already met one of the props, which is brilliant, but there's lots on here, and Michael, you get to ride the rocking horse at some point.
I
That
do,
was
yeah.
one of your favourites.
I don't know, it's not very comfortable, actually. I mean, it's not built for an adult, it is built for a child, but no, I do get to, it's a bit of fun, yeah.
Any other favourites?
Costume-wise, I only get one.
Yeah.
So all of us do, don't we? We only
Jacket
get one
on,
costume.
jacket off.
Yeah, exactly. I quite like my little hat. I get to wear a hat on them, but I only get it in the first scene. But I do get to wear a corset, and I love walking around in corsets. Mine's an extreme waist corset, so I'm pulling it in tighter every day, hoping to lose weight.
Okay, we know what to give you for Christmas then, if you fancy an extra corset. Anything else that really stands out for you?
Well, the costumes are really helpful.
Yeah,
actually.
really
The
lovely.
costumes are terrific.
But are they comfortable?
Yeah, well, mine
Yeah,
is.
it's
fine,
Yeah. They're really
First, you have to get
beautiful
used
as
to
well,
them, because it's a different way of holding
Yeah,
yourself.
it is a different time, isn't it? And the costumes are all the
Yeah,
time.
no,
Yeah,
they're
they're
terrific.
beautifully designed, and that's really.
I do like the rocking chair as well. I very rarely get to sit down in a play. Also, this is one of the other things. I think I sit in the chair twice, and in the rocking chair I sit down.
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to just sit down.
have a little
There's a
wrap,
couple of
yeah.
moments where I think, I'm not going to say my next line until I've had a good relax.
So this can vary the length of the whole show.
Yes.
Okay.
depending on how tired I am.
Yeah, it is actually part of the script if anybody asks and you're there for a good 10 minutes.
Yes, and I've fallen asleep.
That pause is definitely written in.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I said that for me, having seen it, I love the way in the backdrop here, the scene of behind changes as well, and I think that works. And just the ragged edge to the set, so the interesting slope of the woodwork, it all adds to it, doesn't it?
And we haven't mentioned Sara Perks' name, have we?
No, we haven't.
So
Sara,
our designer, who
She's so
did both the
cool.
set and the costumes, Sara Perks. It's all, I mean, it's always tremendous when the set and costumes, and this doesn't always happen, actually helps you as an actor rather than hindering you. And really, this one, certainly for me, is
Yeah, completely.
everything about it is very helpful rather than, you know, and
It's an enjoyable show to be part of.
yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
you can come along and see it at Wolverhampton's Grand Theatre right the way through until Saturday the 14th of April. 01902 429212 is the box office number, grandtheatre.co.uk to get your tickets that way. And prepare to be scared in all the right places, I think, in a good way. But a really intriguing story, very well acted. Thank you for bringing it to the stage. Really enjoyed having it down here, and say it's worth coming along to see. But thank you all, the cast of Turn of the Screw.
thank
you
you
very
very
much.
much.
Thank you.
See you soon.
See you soon.